What up, everybody? Welcome back to Wilson and Sports Channel. I just want to make a quick video today talking about Matt Rhule's press conference, the goods, the bad, the ugly. Man, it was something, and I'm gonna start talking about it, and we'll see where it goes. So before we do, though, hit the subscribe button. I have pregame, postgame live streams. Definitely don't want to miss out anything going on during this Husker football year. But let's just get into it. So the first thing Matt Rhule talked about was how he didn't disrespect Shedeur Sanders. He asked him to pray or whatnot. He said, I'm going to be a classy coach. I'm going to be a classy coach for a classy program. And I'm going to go at the end of the game and get trampled and shake Coach Prime's hand. That's what he said, right? And here's my thing to Matt Rhule, is that he keeps harping on the classy part. Oh, we're going to be so classy. Oh, we're this, we're that. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm just being completely honest. It does not matter how classy you are as a head coach if you don't win. Let's look at Mike Riley. When Mike Riley got fired here, everybody was saying, oh, well, he was a nice guy. You know, he was classy. He gave everybody respect. He was a nice fellow. He didn't win football games. It doesn't matter. I don't care who you are, Matt Rhule. If you want to go shake Deion Sanders' hand or not, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the product you show on the field. Now, that brings us to his second comment, which absolutely, excuse my language, pissed me off. It was awful. He said, this is kind of what you get when you hire me, referring to the loss. He said, this is what you get when you hire me. We're going to build this on a rock. It's going to take time. You know what, Matt Rhule? You know what? That would be fine and dandy if it weren't for the fact that we just played a 1-11 team last year in Colorado, who just hired Deion Sanders, and now they're 2-0, they're ranked, and they're one of the most hyped up teams in the country. But no, Matt Rhule, we have to do things the old school way. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares how we do it? Old school way, new school way. Like, this is what you get when you hire me. Sorry, I'm not going to change who I am. I'm just going to do it the old school way. And it's going to take a long time. You signed me to an 8-year contract. I'd be surprised if we had a winning season until my 5th year. Like, that's the type of energy I'm getting here. Oh, this is what you get. Like, are you kidding me? And this is what I talked about in my post-game live stream. Like, this isn't, 2010 anymore. This isn't 1990 anymore. Okay? You can rebuild programs like this when you inherit them. So I'm not going to sit here and take this from Matt Rhule and have him say, oh, yeah, it's going to take so much time. Like, no, that's not an excuse. And what made me really angry is the next comment he said, where he said, you know what's scary is a team or a man who has nothing to lose. Matt Rhule, are you telling me that we had something to lose in the first 2 games? I remember talking to you guys in my pregame show going ahead of Minnesota, and I said, he has to play and we have nothing to lose. Because we have nothing to lose. We have absolutely nothing to lose. We won 4 games last year. We won 3 games the year before that. We haven't made a bowl game since 2016. We haven't made a bowl game since the Obama administration. So don't give me the whole, oh, it's so scary because we have nothing to lose now. We should have had nothing to lose to begin with. We weren't from a place of power, right? We weren't supposed to beat Minnesota. We weren't supposed to beat Colorado. We've had nothing to lose since forever, right? Stop playing like we have something to lose. Because that's the way I watch this team, is that Matt Rhule's on the sideline acting like we have everything to lose because he refuses to branch out. And we'll be down 2 touchdowns and he'll just keep going to whatever. And he refuses to bench Jeff Sims because he acts like we have something to lose. We have nothing to lose. I don't care who you throw out at quarterback. Throw out the quarterback who's going to be best fit to win a football game. Jeff Sims hasn't been that. So not only is it the players are playing like they have something to lose, but Matt Rhule is coaching like he has something to lose. We have nothing to lose. And really, especially like maybe in Minnesota, I felt like we were trying hard or whatnot. Maybe. But, we gave the game, to them at the end. We gave the game to them. Colorado, we played like we had everything to lose. We were getting blown out, and we refused to go away from Jeff Sims. We were getting blown out, and we refused to change anything offensively. And we played like it was, we have everything to lose. We couldn't change anything up. Like, this is the same crap that we've been dealing with the last 5 years. So it frustrates me when he goes to the media and says, oh, but now we have nothing to lose. We should have had nothing to lose to begin with. And going back to his comment about saying it's going to take time, it's just, it reaffirms everything I've been telling you. Like, Matt Rhule, it would have been no big deal if he left the college game for 3 years, any other time period. But the fact that he left college for 3 years, and when he came back, everything changed, and he had no idea how to, comprehend that and work around that, made me scared for him. And now he's sitting here and basically saying, yeah, I understand that Colorado and Duke and all these other programs, Kansas, for example, they're rebuilding in 1-2 years. Not me. Not me. I'm getting paid $9 million freaking dollars a year. One of the most sought-after contracts ever in college football history. $9 million a year, but it's going to take time. We just got to be patient. We can't be like other programs. We can't utilize a transfer portal. We can't rebuild this team. We have to let walk-ons play. Like, that's the type of... We have to let walk-ons play. We have to, do things the right way. Doing things the right way might seem all fine and dandy, but it doesn't win you football games. Scott Frost felt the same way. He tried to do things the right way. Oh, we're going to do things the right way. We're going to let Brody Belt play. We're going to let Wyatt Lure play. We're going to let this and that walk-on play because they're doing the right job. Like, no, I don't. Like, I said this in my post-game show. I do not care who plays. As long as they are the most talented player on our team and they are, putting us in the best position to win. Do we really think that Alex Bullock, starting wide receiver, put us in the best position to win? He had 0 catches against Colorado. And he only had one target. The one target he did have was a crucial drop on a 3rd down. And if he caught that football, we would have been driving. So it's just all this crap. And it seems like it's deja vu because we saw the same thing with Scott Frost about letting walk-ons play. And it's going to take time and all these excuses. But it's just a new face to all this accusations. And, we're going to be classy this time, right? I don't care about classiness. I don't care about doing things old school. I don't care about even doing things the quote-unquote right way. I care about winning. Because sooner or later, when you're getting paid the contract you are, $9 million freaking dollars, on an 8-year contract, it's not going to take time. We didn't hire you for you to come out here and do the exact same mistake Scott Frost did. Okay, and this falls on Trev Alberts too. I hope he really didn't tell Matt Rhule when he hired him, it's okay, you can do whatever you want year one. No! You are expected to win the second you are employed by this university. Not just because of the fact that we require excellence as a University of Nebraska, but just because of how college football works nowadays, right? Let's look at the NFL. Let's look at the Giants. The Giants hired Brian Dable. The second Brian Dable got there, 1 year, went to the playoffs, won a playoff game. Okay? Let's look at Illinois. The second, Brett Bielema got there. It was a really solid team. Beat us in their home opener. The second Dion gets there, 2-0. But for us, we can't do that. And Matt Rhule is going to sit there and laugh about it at his press conference and say, this is what you get when you hire me. And you know who's clowning us right now? Carolina fans. Carolina Panther fans are saying, we told you. We told you so. And all offseason long, we were trying to, shun those guys up. Shun those guys and say, oh, no, it's different this time. And who's also laughing at us? South Carolina fans. About Marcus Satterfield. Because they were celebrating when this guy left. All of them were celebrating. And we were like, why are you guys celebrating? He was terrible. He was terrible. Oh, well, it'll be different here in Nebraska. No, it hasn't been. So, this is just kind of a rant, but man, it frustrates me when Matt Rhule talks about this. And we're playing a Northern Illinois team next week that honestly, I'm scared. I'm scared to play. I am scared to play this Northern Illinois team. They beat Boston College week 1. We lost to Northern Illinois a couple years ago against when we still had Mike Riley, the head coach. Okay, so they're a team that could beat us. And honestly, I feel like they might. But I'll have to wait that for my pregame show. Again, guys, I'm not out on Matt Rhule. But honestly, the reason why I made this video is because when he goes to his press conferences and says this type of stuff, it just boils my blood. It hurts my heart as a Matt Rhule fan and a Nebraska fan because he's contradicting everything he said this offseason. Okay, he said, it's going to take time. bull crap, because you were talking this offseason about how it feels like you're already in year 2 and how you were saying how much talent's on this roster and you were hyping us up. And then you go out here and be like, oh, this is going to take time. Like, no, you're contradicting yourself. You're lying to us. Okay? So that's my thing. And honestly, I talked about this in the offseason, actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words every single day of the week. If it were up to me, Matt Rhule would not have a press conference, pregame, postgame, until the end of the year. He wouldn't have one. Not a single one. Because I don't care what he has to say at this point. He is a year 1 coach. Okay? And Nebraska fans, we act like a coach comes in here and, it's their trust that you just give them your trust immediately, and then they have to gradually lose it. The way I operate is that a coach gets here and you have to gain my trust. We start from ground zero, right? I don't know you, you don't know me, right? I'm going to gain trust the more I know you. That's the way I operate with coaches, okay? So I'm not going to give Matt Rhule the benefit of the doubt when I hear him in press conferences and postgame, not because I don't like him, not because I don't believe his plan, but because he's not been here and he hasn't won here and he hasn't gained my trust. So am I out on Matt Rhule? Heck no, I'm not out on Matt Rhule. I still think Matt Rhule is going to be good here. But it frustrates me when we establish the fact that it's going to take time when every other program can fix it in year 1. But he cannot. At the prestigious University of Nebraska is, with all the resources we have, he can't figure it out. That's what frustrates me. So, again, I know a lot of people come in the comments and say, Wilson, you can't be out on Matt Rhule this early. Like, I'm not out on Matt Rhule. I'm just kind of holding him accountable for what he says, because when you say stuff about how, it's going to take time, and then you see programs like Colorado turn around in year 1, and then when you go back to your comments over the summer when you were saying how good we were going to be and how it already felt like it was year 2, I'm going to hold you accountable. And when you sit here and say that you're going to be a Class C coach and all this and that, it doesn't matter. It seriously doesn't matter if you're not winning football games. So, again, not out on Matt Rhule, but we need to hold our coaches accountable. As a fan base, we need to do that. Because we need to stop sitting here and getting new coaching hires and acting like they have all of our trust immediately and that we just need to give it to them off the bat. Like, no, coaches' trust should be earned. And it's frustrating when Matt Rhule sat here all offseason and said that we need to be a disciplined team and we need to be completely different than what we have been, and then you show up the first 2 games and you play a Minnesota team who's not a good Minnesota team, and you have the exact same mistakes and you lose the ball game in the final minute like we've always seen, and then you absolutely get torched by Colorado. To the point where people were on Twitter saying, if Scott Frost was coaching this team, we would have only lost by 1 score. Probably not wrong. So that's my video about Matt Rhule's presser. I was very mad about it. And it's just not what you want to see from your head coach. Saying stuff like that and saying that's going to take time and that we're going to be classy and that all this and that. Like, it's frustrating stuff to hear. Man, I'm just so frustrated with Rhule right now. I'm at the point where I'm just going to tune out of his press conferences. Let everything on the field do the talking. Because you are getting paid an outstanding salary on an 8-year deal. And this is the product you've shown us in the first 2 games, which is probably the worst 2-game debut maybe ever. Nebraska, maybe ever. At least when we played Colorado when Scott Frost was here, we probably should have won that game. We had no business winning that game. We played him. So that's it. Again, I'm still in on Matt Rhule. It's just needs to be held accountable, and I was really, really not impressed with those press conferences. So that's it. Again, subscribe if you don't miss out on anything. Let me know in the comments if you disagree, agree, add anything going on with Matt Rhule and Nebraska. Hopefully we get the dub against Northern Illinois. We'll have a pregame show coming out later this week about it. But as always, go Matt Rhule, go Big Red, and see you in the next one.